All right, today we are jumping headfirst into the wild and brilliant world of Jaglavak 1963, Pale Blue Dot. Now, this is a story that doesn't hold your hand. It pretty much just throws you into the deep end and expects you to figure it out. So, let's get to it. The story kicks off with this exact line, shouted by a canned crowd. It's about cheap bat guano, apparently, for a show called Ghetto News Network. There's no introduction, no context, just pure, unfiltered chaos right from the jump. I know what you're thinking. What on earth is going on here? Who are these people, and why are they getting so worked up over fertilizer? It feels like you've walked into the middle of a conversation you were never supposed to hear. But trust me, that confusion is completely intentional, and we're going to break it all down, piece by piece.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get our bearings and figure out where we are by exploring planet Junkion. Then we'll meet the key players and their on-set avatars. That's a big one. After that, we'll unpack what that whole argument is really about. From there, we'll dive into the story's emotional core before finally witnessing the grand, imagined spectacle that ties this whole thing together. Okay, so let's start with the setting. To make any sense of that first scene, you absolutely have to understand the world it's taking place in. Because we're not just in some store. We're in this massive universe of sets and backlots, where reality gets, well, really blurry. This whole bizarre, chaotic exchange, full of insults and some pretty deep philosophical jabs, is happening for a super simple reason. A character named Kim wants a very specific brand of bat guano, and the store just doesn't have it. It's this wonderfully normal conflict happening in a completely surreal place. So Pookie and Ray Ray's isn't just a shop. Think of it as the front door to Planet Junkion, which is this huge 1,000-acre backlot filled with all kinds of other sets. I mean, you've got everything from a crashed starship to a Cantonese dinner theater. This isn't just one place. It's layers and layers of fiction built right on top of each other. And the thing holding all of this together is what's called the studio system. You can think of it as a massive creative compound where people both live and work, and their real life is often impossible to separate from the shows and movies they're making. So, now that we kind of know where we are, let's figure out who we're with. And in this world, that is not always a simple question, because pretty much everyone is playing a part all the time. Okay, so these are our main characters in the Great Guano Debate. You've got Papillion Day, he's the boss, the creative director. Spoonbender is a crew chief who's just trying to buy some tools. Andrew, Sub 99, who also goes by Cool Breeze, is the employee giving everyone a hard time. And then there's Kem, the mysterious figure who's stirring the pot and demanding the good shit. Now, this is the key concept you have to wrap your head around. People here basically have dual identities. Papillion Day is the real person, right? The guy in charge. But on set, he often slips into his avatar, an incorrigible, non-player character named Mr. Periwinkle Bubbles. So who is he in the scene? Well, he's Papillion Day, president of the Haters Club, but those lines are always blurry. The story also very deliberately plays with and recontextualizes some incredibly charged language. For example, the shop is described as a community niggering space. But the text immediately has a character, Andrew Sub 99, explain that he wrote a PhD thesis arguing that in their specific world, the term is used as a verb, totally separate from any ethnic meaning. It's a provocative intellectual exercise happening inside this fictional universe, and it's absolutely designed to challenge you. Okay, so we know the who and the where. Let's get to the why. Why are they arguing so passionately about fertilizer? Well, because it's not really about the fertilizer at all. This is the line Papillon delivers that just cuts right through all the noise. He's trying to make Kim and Andrew understand that the good shit guano they're so obsessed with is the exact same stuff as the cheap shit they already have on the shelf. The only difference is the packaging. So the argument really is a metaphor for perception versus reality, for branding versus actual substance. Papillon's point is that they're getting totally hung up on the sticker, the marketing, the idea of something, when the actual thing itself is identical. And this theme, it just echoes through the entire story. But this story isn't just about big philosophical debates in a tool shed. Behind all the public arguments, there's this deep, powerful, emotional conflict that's driving our main character, Papillon. So while Papillon is dealing with all this chaos at work, he's also just given an ultimatum to Connie. She's his house guest, but she's also something more. She calls herself his furniture.
He's told her he needs space to sort out his own personal crap, and yeah, that has set off an absolute emotional firestorm. And here, the story blends these sci-fi ideas with some really raw human emotion. Papillon's best friend, Zambia, explains that Connie has some serious power here. Through a process they call novation, she can literally rewrite the relationship contract. She can choose to make him forget her completely or make him treasure every single second they've ever had together. And this is Zambia's advice to Connie. It's such a powerful, almost poetic way of saying, either go all in and rewrite your contract with love, or stay guarded, stay tactical, don't get lost somewhere in the middle. The choice Connie makes is going to fundamentally change Papillon's reality and his memory. All right, for our final section, we're going to pull back one last time to reveal the ultimate layer of this whole narrative. Because it turns out that many of these real-life events, these arguments and heartbreaks, are actually being written into the script for a TV show called, you guessed it, Jaglavak 1963. The climax of this whole piece isn't actually about the guano, or even Katani's big decision. It's about a character named Tolo Bayos, who experiences something called a spasmodic recall. It's like a vision, a flash that just breaks through space and time and connects him to something truly cosmic. The way this incredible event unfolds is so important. Tolo is just doing something completely normal, washing dishes, when he is suddenly just gone. He sees the birth of a star, but not as himself. He's seeing it through the eyes of his own descendant, generations into the future. And then, just as suddenly, he's back on his kitchen floor. This is the story's final, absolutely mind-bending idea. Tolo wasn't just hallucinating. He was part of a shared, imagined spectacle. He realizes that generations of his family, both past and future, are all witnessing this same constructed event together. It ties everything back. The studio system, the avatars, the blurred lines between what's real and what's performed. And so we end right back where we started, with a question. When reality has all these different layers, which one is actually the real one? Is it the argument over the guano? Is it the heartbreak between Papillon and Connie? Or is it the shared vision of a star being born? The story seems to suggest that maybe they all are. Maybe reality is just the sticker we choose to put on the ship. It is a complex, challenging, and honestly an unforgettable journey.